Let's see if that worked. Ah, it looks like we might actually be live this time. Ah, it connected. Awesome. Now let's see if I can get that thumbnail changed. Change. Oh, we have a new thumbnail. There we go. Open. Save. All right, let's get some music going. All right. Let's see here. All right. I can't tell what's going on exactly. Anyway, we should be live, but I'll wait to get really started right at 8 o'clock. I'm also wondering how to, share, copy video link. All right, let's go to our social media platforms. All right. All right, that should be a start. All right, we're live. And today we are overclocking the Phenom or Phenom 2x2 555 Black Edition. And this is going to be a very similar processor and performance to the one we did last Saturday. But the difference is this one is a 555 versus a 545. So we've actually got 1 megahertz higher on our base clocks, or on our base frequency, and we are also a unlocked multiplier, and we also should be able to unlock this processor. So let's see here. So since we have an unlocked multiplier and an unlocked processor, we should be unlockable processor, a motherboard that we can actually unlock. We should be able to do a lot more with this processor, hopefully get higher scores. So I'm going to set a goal for today's stream. I am hoping to get a higher score. Let's see if we can move this just a little bit closer. I'm hoping to get a higher score than we got on our 545, which actually did a decent job of overclocking. We got that to like 3.99 gigahertz, which isn't that bad for a locked processor. So as you can see over here, we got we have our Phenom 2 X2 555. I did a couple Cinebench runs so we could get some base scores. We never got above 24 degrees Celsius, which means we are not at the moment thermally limited at all. Also, you can see on our stream, will be right above me right here, that we have a multi-core Cinebench score at the moment of 158 and a single core score of 82. So my goal is on all cores to have at least 100 points. So if we are unable to lock to 3 cores, we definitely want to get a score of 300, and our single thread score, I would very much like to beat our score last time of 105. I'm pretty sure it was, or was it 102? I think it was 102. Either way, I'd like to get a better single threaded score. So, but this is a different motherboard, different BIOS. It's going to look a bit different, and our overclocking method is going to be a bit different as well. So also, if you guys are watching and want to let me know about the volume level on the music, if it's too loud, let me know. But anyway, we're going to be getting out of this and getting into our BIOS. No, we're not going to save that Cinebench score. Power, restart. All right. Hopefully we can get into our BIOS. Let's see. Yep, delete is getting to the BIOS settings, which is good. All right, so we are all on our optimized defaults, so we have a few things that we have to do early on. So first thing we're going to do is go into power management, and we are going to... None of this looks relevant. Oh, another thing to keep in mind, we are running with DDR2 memory on this. All right, we'll just go straight into the... let's try unlocking cores first. And from what I'm told, I haven't checked on this motherboard, but from what I'm told, this motherboard can unlock cores. I have to advance BIOS features. Let's see here. C1 state support. We definitely want that disabled. Virtualization, we don't need disabled. Definitely disable cool and quiet. Let's see here. Moving on. Advanced clock calibrate. All right, so advanced. Oh wait, that's clock calibration. Core control. Oh no. Come on, where is the core control on this motherboard? This is interesting though. This does look like you can actually overclock individual cores. This motherboard. Clock generator. This is going to be set to manual, and we are going hard in the paint. CPU voltage control. Normal. Oh no, we've got offsets. Are you kidding me? So our base voltage is 1.275, and if we want to go to, hey, how's it going? Input funny. I guess that's how it is. Just in the BIOS trying to figure things out. We're at 1.275 volts, and we want to get up to 1.5 volts. We're jumping ahead quite quickly. That's 1.45, so that's 1.5. Okay, straight up to 1.5 volts because we are not thermally limited here. I am really frustrated though because I am not seeing anywhere where we can unlock cores. And I specifically bought this motherboard so we could unlock cores. And I'm just losing my mind here. SATA controller, that's fine. Power management. Maybe this is where it is. If you guys see something in the BIOS and I'm missing it, let me know. CPU fan warning temperature. All right. I'm frustrated as hell already. Clock. Okay. System voltage not optimized. Who's surprised there? All right. Why can't we unlock this processor? CPU clock ratio. Okay. That's going to be a 16 multiplier, so we're going to want to jump. We're going to skip a couple steps, jump straight to 18, which should put our CPU to 3.6 gigahertz. And I'm actually going to do some Googling here really quick, guys. I need to find out what's going on with our... shoot. I don't even remember the model number of our... We'll do that Googling here in a moment. But I need to figure out what the heck is going on with our inability, as it would seem, to unlock cores. And I even checked to make sure that the BIOS revision was the latest revision to make sure that we could do it. Advanced BIOS features.
Virtualization cave, cool, quiet. Hard disk boot priority.
I don't see it, guys. I'm gonna be really pissed. There's just... Is there something I'm missing? There's got to be something I'm missing, right? Oh my gosh. Clock generator control. Well, I am over the top angry right now that I did not get a motherboard that apparently can unlock cores. So, but we shall press on, and we are going to just go to overclocking, I guess. So, as I said before, our goal is to beat our scores last time of, what was it? 200 on the multi-core. Did I try turning it off and on again? Actually, I did. We are going to try to disk check. Skipping disk check. Who wants to go through disk check? Yeah, budget. I'm not seeing any core unlocking. I'm actually quite frustrated with it. I'm gonna look up when we get into Windows. I'm going to look up the BIOS revision on this particular motherboard, but I'm pretty sure this is the latest BIOS revision. Oh. We're F10C, so we have a... Let's get up our friendly Google here. Let's see here. GA-M79X-UD4P. I am not seeing... In before BIOS makes overclocking better. So this looks like my motherboard. And what is... Let's go to the support page. Although this says XT, and the one I have is X, apparently. BIOS revision. This is not the proper motherboard. Oh my gosh, I am so angry. Where is it? UD4P, right? GA-MA. Oh, there it is. Forgot the A. Alright. Checking BIOS revisions. Support. BIOS. Yes, F10C is what we need. We've got F10C. And if you look at... it updates CPU. And actually, the F9 revision adds CPU core control option, which I would think would be the ability to unlock cores. And after Googling this motherboard, we should be able to unlock cores. But anyway, we right now we are at oh, I didn't check see if we've got a load line calibration setting. We are at 3.6 gigahertz, booted into Windows, so we're kind of going hard in the paint here. We're not wasting a whole lot of time with our overclocks. I don't care. We're at 1.5 volts. Clean start, 1.5 volts. Why can I not get out of this? All right. All right, let me check core unlocking. Okay. see here. Yeah, so here's a article, I'll post it in the chat, of a guy that uses this motherboard very specifically. Says he uses it for core unlocking on his CPUs. And I just don't know where the feature is. So let's see here. Motherboard intelligent tweaker. Look with me, guys. Look with me. I have no idea where this feature might be. It's not. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, core control, but it's only got. Firmware selection? What does hybrid mean? I don't know. Advanced clock calibration looks like it lets us overclock individual cores to a certain degree, which is actually quite interesting. Never actually done that. Clock generation control. Manual. Doesn't do anything. CPU frequency, that's our base clock, which we might be messing with later. System voltage control manual. We don't need to adjust our DDR2 voltage yet. Yeah, there's just nothing here, which is quite frustrating, but let's see here. So actually, I've got a spreadsheet here that was put together not by me, by somebody else, and it lists the Phenom 2 555 Black Edition as being able to unlock to triple or quad cores. So I'll post this in the chat. This is actually a brilliant little thing. But we're just going to keep climbing. Try to get into Windows. But I have no idea what we're gonna do. Like when we hit are we gonna hit a hard wall? Yeah, there's a very specific athlon I'm looking for, and they're just too. I think we're not checking the disc. There's nothing wrong with the disc. Yeah, there's some really interesting processors on there, but the best one, in my opinion, is there's an Athlon. I think we discussed this before. That can unlock to a 6-core Phenom. All right. Let's see here. Oh, I don't know if mine is a C2 or RBC3. So is that the difference? I wouldn't know. Phenom 2 955. Callisto. Wouldn't that be it? Callisto? Let me pull up this article over here so I can chat while looking at it with you guys. 555 Black Edition. I wonder if there's a place in... No, I don't see where it can tell me the actual revision of the CPU. Yeah. So see, yeah, this is supposed to unlock and the motherboard's supposed to unlock. And we have the right BIOS revision. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I've got the wrong revision. I mean, it's still cool that it's unlocked. So this had bent pins that I fixed yesterday. I was actually trying to use it on my very first live stream and didn't realize the pins were bent, and I was trying to shove it into the socket. It's a little cringeworthy, actually. But I looked at it, and I was able to bend back the pins. So, all right. We're at 3 point. Let's go to 3.8. I don't know if there's a C1. After this stream, I'll take it out and check to see what the code is. But I definitely want to get some triple cores to try to unlock to 4 cores. That would be a lot of fun. Don't do the disk check thing, buddy. Yes, no disk check. All right. Oh my gosh! Skip the disc check. All right. Yeah, I'm in a bad position because I want to spend an absurd amount of money on Phenom and Athlon processors. And you know what's really interesting is, yeah, stream highlights. Something that I find really interesting is that this is, in theory, you could in theory make this whole process of unlocking cores capable on modern processors, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so we're up to almost like pretty effortlessly 3.8 gigahertz. So let's just keep going. Now we don't know how it'll do in Cinebench. We don't know if it's stable, but that's for our future problems. All right. Another thing I thought of, I would like to make a setup where people can, because I've had people request information about donating or super chats or stuff like that. I would like to do that, but I would feel kind of bad not having any like exclusive content for anyone willing to donate. But what I would like to do is, if there's a specific processor somebody would like to see overclocked, they can essentially pay for it either by giving me the money, like donating the money to purchase it, in which case I would do a huge shout out to you at the beginning and the end of the streams for it, and it would the whole thing would be in your honor. But I want you guys to get something out of any money that would be donated. So I'm considering something like that. Let me know if that's something that you think you guys would be interested in. But hey, Alan, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've been back for a little while. YouTube, I think, has kind of put us in a like a quarantine where they're like, are they really back? We don't want to waste our resources if they're not really back. So, oh, did they unlock with some of the epics? I didn't know that. That would be interesting to look up. I would have to look that up. That'd be so cool if they did that with epics. Okay, guys. We've been live streaming for like, what, 20 minutes? And we are pushing 3.9 gigahertz, just like that. Like, it's so easy with black editions. You remember the kind of struggles we went through on Saturday with this, with the base frequency, just bumping it up little by little? This is so much easier. It almost feels like cheating. But we will be messing with the base frequency because we will hit a brick wall with our multiplier. And then in order to eke out a little bit more performance, we will be doing some messing with the base frequency, the hypertransport link. Even though it's a black edition, this platform is a lot of fun to overclock on. There's so many intricate little tweaks you can make to this system to make it fun to overclock. So that's definitely something we're going to be dealing with as we start to hit our wall. Don't you dare. I'm half tempted to just let it do the disk repair because I'm sick and tired of watching it try. But I should have a 4-core Phenom coming at some point, which would be a lot of fun to overclock. And that is a business model. It's a B810, I believe. Or it's an 810, which I think is the business series. I think the 800 series was the business series. Okay, we're at 4 gigahertz, 23 minutes into this stream. This is insane. Let's just keep going, guys. There isn't enough Phenom content. I agree. I actually want to do an entire like tribute video to the Phenom Athlon. Actually, you know what's really cool? Out of all of this, AM2 platform was the most resilient platform ever. So the AM2 motherboards, a lot of the original AM2 motherboards that came out with the Athlon 64X2 launch, There were a couple Athlon 64X2s that could fit into the 939 socket, or is it 949? I can't remember. But either way, when AM2 launched, it launched with the Athlon 64X2s, and then a lot of those had BIOS revisions all the way up into AM3 with the Phenom series. It's insane how long of a span. Now we're seeing that kind of with the no, did I just save and exit? Yes. So we're kind of seeing a resurgence of something like that with the current socket, the AM4 socket. It's actually lasted a really long time. It's been very impressive, but they never made an architectural jump on the same platform like they did with AM2. The Athlon 64X2 is based on the K8 architecture, and the Phenom 2 is based on, or the Phenom and Phenom 2 is based on the K10 architecture. So not only did they jump an architecture, but they also put support on the Phenom 2 and the Athlon 2 series that meant they put a DDR3 and a DDR2 controller. So you could actually have an AM2 motherboard that, as long as it had the right BIOS revisions, would support all the way up to the Phenom 2, which is just so cool in my opinion. Like, that kind of support is unbelievable. Wow, yeah. That's so cool that he could slap in a Phenom 2X4 850 in place of his Athlon 64X2. That's so cool. All right, guys. We've already, assuming this is stable, we have already beat our previous scores because we're at 4.1 gigahertz. So I think what we're going to do now, especially since we couldn't unlock this thing, is we're going to run a Cinebench run, multi-core only. So we don't need to, well, let's see here. Make sure we're on multi-core. Okay. So again, our target was to break 200. Assuming this is stable, we should break 200. That is my goal. And then we need to set another goal. If you guys have frequencies you think we should try to hit, like goals we should try to reach, then let me know. The other fun thing about this is because we've got the unlocked multiplier, we can start just cranking up the voltage. Like, I'm not afraid to burn this thing to the ground, honestly. Did we run out of music? We ran out of music. How dare you? All right. Yeah, I'm not afraid to burn this thing to the ground. It's not the most expensive processor. It's got repaired bent pins. We're at 1.5 volts. I have no problem going to 1.6. We will get this thing going faster. So Saturday, we said this last week, this coming Saturday, we will be doing a GPU overclock. I've got a GTX 260 that I would like to overclock. So I'm trying to decide what processor to pair with it though. Because that actually will have, that won't in theory have an impact on our overclock, but it would have an impact on our scores should we do a benchmark like Firestrike. So I think the best one I have is an i7 3930K. So that might be what we use, but not sure at the moment. All right, getting through. Yeah, but if you guys look over here too, right above me, you'll see that the score to beat, we started with 158. That's our base frequency score. We're just gonna hopefully climb way above that. Again, 200 should be what we hit, at least. Also, is anyone that's in the chat, have you guys been watching the series for our build-off? This is the first time I've talked to you guys since the build-off videos came out. So I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on the build-off. I know Budget will probably keep his mouth shut, but the rest of you, I'd love to hear your input. I kind of think mine was a bit polarizing. But the performance was second to none. The performance was fantastic, but the build itself was quite polarizing. All right, we're getting near the end. We're getting there. Why does it gotta take so long? We need it. We need more cores. We needed to be able to unlock this. We need more cores just to make this run go faster, if nothing else. Yeah, all the builds were definitely very different. For sure. Oh, we hit exactly 200, which I was actually expecting something a little bit better. But you know what? It might be we didn't overclock our hyper transport at all. So we can still do that, but yes, we want to save that score. We're at 200 on the 955 or the 555 Black Edition. Yeah, the Connect case from Kyle was unbelievable. That came out of left field, man. I did not see that coming. That was so cool. All right. 21. Now, for a while, well, I say for a while, this is probably where it's going to crash. 4.2 gigahertz is kind of where these things start crying uncle, and we have to start upping the voltages. All right, guy. Get in. Get into Windows. We can do it. Of course, there's a disk check. Skipping it. Watch the disk check be a problem with our overclocks. Like, Windows is probably unhappy that we're overclocking, much less. All right. Let's see here. The fact that we can open up CPU-Z is kind of encouraging. That's like my really 4.2. This is actually impressive for this little guy. I'm a little bit impressed. All right, let's go for 4. Would it be? Yeah, 4.3. I would be really excited if this was a golden chip. That would be so cool. All right. I really think this is I really think this is where we're going to hit a wall. But I'm okay with it cuz we got other things we can do. All right. Okay. See the post screen? That's a plus. Also, I do want to do a stream where I overclock that X58 CPU because... Or multiple X58 CPUs. That motherboard, it's kind of funky the way the voltages work. I can't tell if it's an offset or if it's the numbers are actually representative of the voltages. Because I tried to set it to 1.35 volts and it crashed when I was overclocking that system. But... when I changed the load line calibration in Windows, it actually overvolted it to 1.4 volts on the CPU, and that was just fine. So I'm thinking it's, wow, 4.3 gigahertz. Okay, let's keep going, guys. This is starting to be impressive. I really thought that 4.2 is kind of it. Just 4.2 is kind of its limit. All right. Oh, for CPUs, I haven't actually thought about that. That's a good idea. It's a very stressful test. I hadn't thought to use that for CPU overclocks. It would take a while. Although I don't know if it'd take longer than a dual-core Cinebench run. I don't have Firestrike installed on this hard drive. But... When's it just gonna learn I'm not gonna do a disc check? When's it gonna get that through its thick skull? We're just skipping that. No, yeah, that would be a really good overclock test. Although I don't think it's as stressful as some other tests for sure. How is this working? How is this working, guys? 4.4 gigahertz. This is ridiculous. This is not average Phenom. A good Phenom overclock is 4.2 gigahertz. We're at 4.4. Like this is entering FX territory overclocks. You know what? Just gonna do it. Just gonna do it. Hopefully this motherboard has really good like failed boot recoveries. Because if not, I'm gonna have to clear the CMOS. One cool thing about this motherboard is it does have dual BIOS. How that works, I don't know, but it does have dual BIOS. All right, guys, we're really pushing our luck now. 4.5 gigahertz. Save and exit setup. Yep, 4.5 gigahertz on a Phenom. This is insane. All right, we're posting. That's good. That, you know what? That's what I want to see. I want to see a post screen every time we bump. Just skip the disk check. Skip it. 4.5 gigahertz? Are you kidding me? So we are, jeez, this is an enormous overclock. And we haven't even touched the hyper transport or Northbridge frequencies. Like, if we can get those to overclock too. What? All right. We're gonna try a Cinebench run. I predict it's going to crash. That's my prediction. It might even crash trying to open Cinebench, but all right. What? Okay. This is this thing is kicking butt. What's going on? What is going on? Oh man. Oh my gosh. So budget, when was the last time you like did a lot of overclocking? And did you use Firestrike for your stress test? I don't know how it's running either, man. This is insane. It might be the 1.5 volts I'm pumping through it, but you know what? I honestly think that these old AM2 Plus motherboards might be better for overclocking these Phenom processors than the AM3s. I think what it might be is that since the Phenoms, their first yeah, it's low-key keeping it alive. So here's a thought I had. I think that because the DDR2 controller, the DDR2 is so well established by the time the Phenoms came out, I think what's going on with the Phenoms on a DDR3 system is they, that was the first generation AMD had DDR3, so the controllers were probably not as high of quality as the DDR2 controllers on board. So it could be that just because we're running with DDR2, we're actually getting a better overclock than we would if we were running on a DDR3 system. That's my theory. But that would also mean that when you ran into instabilities on a DDR3 system, the problem was with the memory controller and nothing else. So it's a kind of a galley-wonky theory, but I thought that the Phenoms had the controllers on the chips. I thought that the Phenoms had the DDR3 controllers on the chips. Am I wrong? Yeah, no, I have never gotten an overclock on my memory with a Phenom. Never. Doesn't matter how much voltage I pump into it. Oh, I was also reading, because I got an Athlon 64X2, I was reading forums on overclocking those things. And people are like, they're talking about like the voltages on them. And one guy was like, 1.65, 1.7 volts, they'll be fine. I'm like, holy cow, 213. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, we're gonna be changing this. Properties, we got to change this to 213. 213 voltage is at 1.5 volts, and our gigahertz is at 4.5 gigahertz, and it ran through Cinebench at 4.5 gigahertz. This is outrageous. I'm speechless. Like, I don't know what to say. What do you say to that? And it's not like this is, this is Windows 10. It's not like this is Windows XP or Windows 7 where, like, these things were meant to be overclocked. This is a completely modern platform for it. Well, I say platform, operating system. That's more appropriate. All right, guys, we're going to 4.6. Oh, interesting. Well, fortunately, I am running on a DDR2 platform with Gigabyte. Okay, guys, we're going for 4.6 gigahertz on a Phenom 2. This is insane. Should we run Cinebench? Cinebench is running faster now with 4.6 gigahertz. This is insane. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. That's okay. We've got voltage. We can add voltage. That's right, guys. I might have a golden chip here, to be completely honest. I've never had a golden chip before. I would be really stoked. All right. Ahaha. See, we've got this thing down here called CPU. Oh, sorry. This thing down here called CPU voltage control. And we're only at 1.5 volts. So let's just do, oh, I don't know. We'll go up to 1.55. See if that can, that's so much voltage. All right. Save and exit. Let's see if we can get 4.6 gigahertz. If not, I'll go to 1.6 volts. I don't want to go to 1.65 volts, but I will. This is a temporary overclock. This isn't a permanent overclock. I will go to 1.6 volts. Ah, dang it. 1.6 volts it is, guys. That's it. Throw in the kitchen sink at it. This chip is going to blow up. No, it's not. I have faith. .6 volts. I am punishing this thing. I'm skipping so many steps in overclocking. This is insane. All right. 1.6 volts. We're doing it. We're not thermally limited. We're running a 360 millimeter or a 240 millimeter radiator on a chip that... Oh, don't prepare automatic repair. You won't get through an automatic repair. We're at 4.6 or 4.7 gigahertz. We're at 4.7 gigahertz. Yeah, see? Okay. So we got into Windows at 4.6 at 1.5 volts. So we will drop it down to that. And, okay, we're not going to fry the chip. We're not going to go 1.65, and it's obviously not stable. So we'll back off the voltage. We just gave it a little prod, you know? We just gave it a little poke to see what it would do. Didn't move, so we're just going to... You know what? We'll leave it at 1.55. I'm a little leery that... Okay, so we were at 4.6, not 4.7. So 4.5, that's not bad. No, we made it through... Did we make it through a Cinebench run at 4.5 volts? We did, at 1.5. We made it through a Cinebench run at 4.5 gigahertz with 1.5 volts, so we know that's stable. Now is where we do some fun tweaking. Let's see here. Okay, so we need to go to 10. Oops. We're going to overclock our CPU North Bridge. Oh, no, this is what we're going to do. Sorry, not overclocking the CPU North Bridge. We are going to do some minor tweaking to the... Should we do... What'll this do? Nope, that's too much. Oops. 202. That'll be 4.203. 4.56. You know what? We will do this last, actually. Because we will do hyper transport. And so another thing you want to keep in mind, guys, is you want your hyper transport frequency and your North Bridge frequency to be the same. That usually yields your best results. So we're going to save and exit setup. So we're down to a measly 4.5 gigahertz. How we're even coping with only 4.5 gigahertz, I don't know. Windows probably ain't going to be happy with us. Yep, there's a disk check. All right. 4.5 gigahertz, though. That's a huge increase over what we saw with our other Phenom 2. Let's not scoff at the 4.5 gigahertz. Okay. My dog's outside the door wondering what's going on. All right, so we are at 2200 hypertransport link, 4.5 gigahertz. Let's restart. I'm expecting us to get to roughly 2400 megahertz, maybe 2600 megahertz on the North Bridge and hypertransport link. Oh, it did not like our overclock on our hypertransport link. What's the base voltage on a hypertransport link and a North Bridge, and what is the safe range for overclocking those on voltage or overvolting those? I'm not sure. I think it's... I know what RAM is, and I know what CPUs are. I do not know... hypertransport link width? I've never seen that before. All right. Northbridge voltage. Oh, we can do just offsets. I like that. I like that. That's fun. Okay, sweet. We can do, do I have a hyper transport link voltage controller? I don't? Okay. CPU Northbridge. We've got... You know what? Why not overclock or overvolt the South Bridge too? Let's just do it. Let's see if we can get into Windows with a 2200 megahertz. I don't know how much difference this is going to make, but I do know it tends to make a difference. All right. Did we get into Windows? We did get into Windows. All right. All right. Let's try... Last time Windows crashed when we left Windows, not while we were in Windows. So we're gonna try overclocking a little bit more on the hypertransport link and the North Bridge. Ooh, that little flicker did not make me confident. All right. Is that my music gone again? Music, why you do this to me? All right. If you guys are getting bored of this same music over and over again, I'm sorry. It's just a small playlist I made because YouTube has this whole monetization thing that they're worried about. Can't really blame them. But, all right. Well, fans are spinning. Post screen. That's all I care about. Like, if I see a post screen, I can get back into the BIOS and change things. If you do an overclock and you don't get a post screen, that's when you're screwed. SimCity 2013 OST. I actually never played SimCity. And I almost didn't hit the spacebar in time to skip the disc check. Uh-oh. Come on, Windows. All right. Okay. Hypertransport link of 2400. Sweet. Northbridge and Hypertransport link are at the same speeds. I'm going to get it to 2600 megahertz. If it posts, we're going to do a Cinebench run. I'm trying to avoid doing Cinebench runs because I know they're boring as all get out on a 4-core or 2-core processor. So doing my best to skip a bunch of steps so you guys don't have to sit through as many Cinebench runs. Honestly, if we were doing this properly, we would be doing a Cinebench run between each adjustment. Yeah, right? Let's hope it posts. We got a lot of work to do. You jinxed it. Watch. Thanks, Budget. It's not going to post now. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. All right. Pretend like you care about the state of my hard drive. Uh-oh. Oh, we're in Windows. That was fast. Just didn't even bother doing the whole... Okay. This is a pretty good overclock. I'm very happy with this. I don't know if it's the motherboard. I'm curious if it's the motherboard or if it's the CPU. I mean, obviously, some of it's the CPU. It's an impressive CPU to be able to do this, but a motherboard that can handle this overclock is also quite impressive. So, there's still no guarantee we're going to make it through a run here. Okay, the score to beat is 213. What's the score that we should set as our goal for single-threaded? Because at 4.5 gigahertz, we know we're going to beat the one... at 4.5 gigahertz, we know we're going to beat the 100 and... What was it? 102 last time? On our other Phenom 2 that we overclocked. The non-black edition. So... We've got another, what is that? 500 megahertz over... So we've got like, what, another 12% increase over the... So we should get like 115 on a single-threaded score? I think we should get 115 on a single-threaded score, right? That's my theory. I can't believe it's still running through this. We are clobbering this run. All right. Oh, are we? Oh, here's what we need to do. We need to take bets. Well, not real bets, but we need to all shout out in the chat what we think the score is going to be. So at 4.5 gigahertz, we got a 213, but that was with a 200 megahertz hyper transport link and Northbridge. So we have overclocked those by 600 megahertz each. So we want to know, I want to know what you guys think we're going to get before this run finishes. I'm going to predict a 220. I think we can get 7 points from just those adjustments. A solid 2 and then it'll crash. What are you hoping it'll crash? What are you saying is gonna crash? I do wanna overclock that Pentium 4. I've got to get a better cooler set up for it, and I've got to get an operating system installed on it. But I definitely want to overclock that Pentium 4. In this, the motherboard that it has is complete trash. I have a complete garbage motherboard for it, so don't expect any beautiful overclocks. But I do have 220. I was right. Yes, I was right. 5 gigahertz easy? Really? The one I have is a 3 gigahertz model, and it's the LGA, or it's not the LGA, it's the pin grid array socket. I don't know. They had multiple sockets from what I understand, so I can't believe we got through that run and we got the score I was hoping for. So 220, impressive. By the way, I don't believe you that it'll hit 5 gigahertz easy. I hope you're right. I would love to see 5 gigahertz. I don't think it's going to happen. Let's see here. All right. Well, guys, we're not done because we're still solid at 4.5 gigahertz. That's awesome. All right. Yeah, let's save that benchmark score. And guys, check this out. We actually beat an i5 3317U at 1.7 gigahertz. Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? So we're not done though. We're gonna go up a little bit. We're gonna actually do our runs with the. We're gonna start increasing our base clock. Oh shoot! I just realized how much of work I'm gonna have to do if we're increasing the base clock. Should we? Okay. Should we adjust this up at all? Because if we do that, that means our memory clock is going to be off. That's a lot of work, and it could actually lose us performance. So let's see what bumping it up just to 201 does. Because if it's 22 megahertz, increases our Northbridge frequency. That's not a lot, but that's not. It's almost not worth doing on our gains. Yeah, I don't know how. Here's the thing, though. I don't know how DDR2 impacts your performance. Although I don't think it'll impact it that much. So. Okay, so RAM shouldn't be too big of an issue. I'm going to leave the hyper transport link in the Northbridge at 2626. I think it can handle just a 10%. Is that even 10%? Yeah, a 10% overclock there. They seem to respond really well, so we'll do 202. If we can get into Windows, we'll do 203, but we do know that it kind of hits a brick wall at 4.6 gigahertz. So well, we posted. That's good. That means we can get back into the BIOS if we need to. That's a plus. Not doing a disk check. All right. Ah, shoot. It didn't like it. Didn't like it, guys. I think we might be done. But we are going to do a single core run because I want to see what we're going to get at 4.5 gigahertz. Hey, guys, this 4.5 gigahertz is nothing to scoff at all. That's a very impressive overclock. Wait a minute. Hold on. Maybe we're not done. We can always add voltage. Let's try that. And let's be naughty again. We'll leave that one there. Let's be naughty again. Let's crank up the voltage, because why not? Why not? That's got to save everything, right? That's got to fix all of our problems. Just crank up the voltage. Oh gosh. Can we get into Windows? Skip the disk check. Nothing says full stability by like skipping a disk check. We got into Windows. Oops, that's not the right password. All right. Okay, we're in Windows. Does that mean we increase everything by one more? Yes, it does. It does. It does mean we increase to 203 megahertz base clock, or 203, well, 203 base frequency. This is just me being naughty. I'm just being naughty now. This is not fair to the system, what I'm doing to it. I am doing all the bad things. 4.567? Why not? All right. Just post. As long as you post, we're in good terms. Okay, we're still on good terms. All right. The beloved disk check. Ah, dang it. Okay, well, I guess we kind of finally did actually hit a brick wall. And we don't even know if the 202 is going to run Cinebench, but we can always try. Overall, this has been a pretty dang successful overclocking. Like, the past 15 minutes, I've just been screwing around more or less. Alright, 202 will be nice. It's gonna crash in Cinebench, I'm almost sure of it. But I don't care. Alright, get us into Windows. The obligatory disk check. Alright, so we got a score of 220. We want to beat 220. Alright. Just going straight into Cinebench. Okay, prepare for epic crashes, people. Watch. Wait a minute. How is this possible? I mean, I know it still can crash. Yeah, after this run, we're going to do single core. Assuming it passes this run. That's quite an assumption. We're still not done. I do love overclocking these guys, though. This is a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do. I used to do this just for fun by myself, and then when we brought back the channel, I decided to do it hoping you guys would enjoy it as much as I do. Awesome. Glad to hear it. I love this motherboard. Dang it, you know what? I don't know about you, Budget, but I think I just love Gigabyte motherboards. Asus makes high-quality motherboards that can take a beating, but Gigabyte makes really high-quality motherboards, and I love their BIOS layouts. Their BIOS layouts, in my opinion, are just so much intuitive than others, and I can always get overclocks even on cheap Gigabyte motherboards. I can always get pretty good overclocks. I do have another motherboard that technically can unlock cores, but it's a complete garbage motherboard. So what I might do is slap this CPU into that other motherboard to see if it's a problem with the BIOS on this one or if it's a problem with the actual CPU I have. Because it could just be a problem with my CPU. Yeah. Asus definitely has a huge following. My favorite interface for Gigabyte motherboard BIOS was, I don't know what it was called. It was a UEFI that I had on an AM3 Plus motherboard that was just unbelievably intuitive. This one's not bad. This one's pretty good, but this is kind of like your old school BIOS setup, but yeah. I wonder what year this motherboard is from, actually. That'd be interesting to find out. Oh, I don't have the whole thing up right now. Oh, well. Are we really getting through this Cinebench run? 219, so we lost a point. That could be from run to run. It also could be due to our lower RAM speeds. But I kind of doubt it. I don't know. We did lose a point, but it's just 1 point. That could be a variation from run to run. So, time for single core. The grand finale is our single core score. And then we will call it a night for our overclocking. This one went a bit quicker because it was a black edition, and we couldn't unlock anything. So, yeah. It was rather unfortunate we couldn't unlock, and black editions make overclocking so much faster. Oh, this is gonna take forever. Explore.exe. Yeah, who needs that? Oh, we did say we could change, what was it, the priority of the program in Cinebench to increase our score, but it also crashed on us last time. What do you guys think we're going to get for single core? I'm predicting 110. 110 is my single core score prediction. We're at 4.5 gigahertz. Last time we made it to 3.9 and change. We're at 4.5 and change. So we're at 4.5 and change. So we're at like 600 megahertz more. You're gonna say 112? Okay, I'm going with 110. Sticking with my gut feeling. You might be right, though. Now that I'm thinking about the numbers, at least by percentages, you'd probably be closer. But I'm also not convinced that it's scaling quite perfectly. Also, I'm trying to figure out what are good times to stream. I did this stream at this time because it's middle of the week when people are home most of the time, I would think. And this is like more of the American focus stream. Not that people from other countries can't tune in. It's just I did this because it's 8. It started at 8 p.m. on the East Coast, which is 5 p.m. on the West Coast, which means people getting off work can come and tune into the stream, and people that have been up for the evening or are up for the evening in America can tune in as well. But I also know that we have a lot of European followers, and that's why on Saturdays I want to stream at noon, because the European people can tune in a lot easier then. Although Night Owls Like Budget can also tune in from Europe just fine at this hour, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, if there's a stream time that works better for you guys, let me know. But this is what I picked for the American people, and then Europeans and Americans can tune in on Saturdays because theoretically none of them are working, and it's a time where everyone should be available to watch in theory. And everyone that would be sleeping in, we're not starting. I guess West Coast, it would be like 9 o'clock for them. But anyway. I'm also, if you can't tell, I'm bantering to fill time because the Cinebench run is taking forever. Yeah, I'm thinking Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. and then Saturdays at noon, so I can kind of do stuff for both of the American market and the European market. Unfortunately, my sleep schedule will not allow me to cater to any of the other parts of the world that may be watching. Like Australians, I'm pretty sure I'm sleeping all the time when they're awake, and vice versa. And yeah, I've noticed your sleep schedule budget is a little messed up, because I woke up one night to go to the bathroom. It was like 1:30 here, and my computer was pinging because you were still talking with somebody in one of our chats.